And it says we're live.
Yeah, lies. Okay, let's see here. Let's get this stuff out of the way. Oh, if you want to keep a roof over our heads and rain off our necks, because it's still raining, donate
Again,
here.
Still.
Donate here.
Yay, free
Donate
water
here.
from the sky.
Oh,
I have a yard that is getting to be 4 feet deep.
I had to get out to a machete, and I was slow with ankle deep water half the
Yeah.
time. If you like coffee, and I'm pretty sure you do, order from these guys. They're really great guys. Let them know you heard about it here. And if you're an author and you like coffee, I would like you to start considering what sort of coffee-inspired tale you would write for 2024. And we won't discuss this again, but you need to be thinking about it.
Not that that's a hint, folks.
I deliver hints with a baseball bat, in case y'all haven't noticed.
Really?
We had a Cedar, and she wandered off on me.
Yeah, as usual.
Um,
All right. Do the important stuff. We are, once again, this year going to do an anthology for our local library to help fund the children's programs.
it's a fundraiser. You won't get paid.
You will not get paid. You will get exposure.
Which
But this
this is good exposure.
yes.
This is one of the few times where it's worth working for exposure.
Yes.
This is no. This isn't working for exposure. This is a feel-good donation.
Yeah.
Yes.
That too. Anyway, here's what we discussed the other night. It'll be about the oil patch. Something to do with the oil patch between 1890 and 1930. PG-13,
Any genre.
5 to 8,000 words. Due date is 30 August.
Yes, for Amy.
And it is for Amy at the Tom Burnett Memorial Library. And she just wanted me to let y'all know the Haunted Libraries anthologies have made more than $1,000 for the library and continues to make money every month,
Yeah.
albeit a very small amount.
Excellent.
Yes.
Well done, guys. Well done.
And so you don't have to write down and dirty. I mean, this could be a love story. It could be whatever you want to write. It just has to involve the oil patch.
1890 to 1930. However, it has to be entertaining. All else is negotiable.
Yes.
Jim, if you'll shoot me those details, I'll go ahead and put it up on my blog.
Okay.
And I've got a couple of Discord channels where we can put it in open markets for people to see.
Yeah, I was going to put it up tomorrow too. But
Yeah.
I will send it to you right
Well,
now.
we can both do that. I don't think our readership overlaps that much.
No.
You'd be surprised how
Oh no,
expanding our readership is getting.
I know that, but I meant the blogs.
As soon as I figure out where the hell it went, there it is.
My blog is so much not like Jim's blog.
Point. Mm. All right, I freaking lost it again. Really?
While he's doing that, Postcard from Fools went live. Everything is good. It's good. Y'all need to spread the word on this one. It's a good little collection. It really is.
There's poetry in this one.
Now
Check.
you're scaring me.
Courtney wants us to point out that there's some poetry in this one. There is also, I had fun with, did we put it on the wrong side up when we
Yep.
put it back up there? Sorry. Sorry, everyone. That was me.
Is that better, Silver Tiger? Glow stick.
So Postcard from Fools, I got to feature some images on there which were really fun to take. Okay, long story. I'm going to make it real short because I don't want to take up too much time. At FoolsCon this year, we had Brian Lee Nadd brought the Bubba Truck, which is a character in and of itself.
Bubba Truck Mark II.
And what he wanted to do was proof of concept for doing a zombie apocalypse response team hanging off the sides of the Bubba truck. So we got a bunch of the guys, most of them in Hawaiian shirts because that's what y'all wear, and a whole bunch of rifles suddenly appeared out of nowhere. And I got out there, and because you have to imagine this, you've got a truck with all kinds of accoutrements sticking off of it, and a bunch of guys with rifles and swords, and I think there may have been a machete in the mix, hanging off the truck, and me in long skirt carrying a long camera, dashing in an arc around the truck, trying to shoot as fast as I could. So I took some of those images and ran them through Midjourney, the AI that I use for the postcards art. And we got some hilarious results. You guys got to preview some of those, and I put several in the book, including the cover image is Brian Lee Natt himself holding Alex Wookall, Dreadnought Industries' Abomination.
Abomination.
So the book has stories within stories and 20 pieces of microfiction, some of which will just take me on my word on this and don't be drinking coffee while you read them.
Yeah.
Because snorting coffee is painful.
Oh, Rick, it's not modern day Viking raid. It's modern day old grumpy old farts hanging on for dear life, going, shoot the damn picture already. I hurt.
About to fall off.
Yeah, that was actually what cut short the photo shoot. Was my shoulders about to give out?
And I love Ian's done this before. Actually, yes, I have.
And we also have our second under 10-year-old author in this book.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Another 8-year-old.
With a truly amazing, wonderful story.
Yes.
Oh, it's wonderful.
I
It was like-
absolutely love
yeah.
that we get to do that.
Yes.
And Kelly's short story should go live tomorrow.
I believe so.
Things that go bump in the night.
Yes.
Yes.
And Falcon, that's Bloody Squirrels.
Falcons and
Falcons and
Malta
Malta is next Friday. And then after that is Pinup Noir.
Pinup Noir acceptances should be going out
Saturday.
Saturday.
I'm making final decisions today and tomorrow.
Someone's sitting over here right now reading your stories.
Actually lurks in the corner.
Oh, we should also let people know about Pinup Noir that we got so many good stories that there will be a Pinup Noir number 2.
Yes.
So,
And then there's Space Marines.
and there's space. Yeah, we just don't want to go to that list.
We are coming up on Memorial Day weekend, and I want to cover a couple of things. One is Memorial Day is not about us veterans. It's about those that did not make it back or died in service. The other thing is the meaning of the coins on the headstones. Where you mostly will see this is veteran cemeteries.
Mhm.
A penny means you stopped and paid your respects. A nickel
You
means
don't know them. You didn't serve with them. You just came by and paid your
right.
respects.
A nickel means you attended boot camp with them. A dime you served with them in the armed forces. A quarter means you were there when they were killed. There is one exception to that, and that is the nickel. If the individual was in the 555th Tactical Fighter Squadron or served on board the 555 submarine, a nickel is appropriate because that was what they were known as, was the triple nickel. Ed Rasmus, being one example, was a member of the 555th TFS, and I visited his gravestone in Arlington, and there were a number of nickels on it.
As you would expect.
Yeah. And the submariners 555 was the Dolphin. So it's not about us. It's about those that did not make it back. And the other thing, while I'm on the subject, we're going to do a chat tomorrow night that's going up sometime on Blasters and Blades about how to write a believable space navy. And J.R. Hanley is going to host it. And it'll have Joel Presby, myself, John Henry, Josh Hayes, Nick Garber, and Richard Akala. So we'll have Service Navy, Airedale Navy, Marine, Air Force. So it'll be an interesting mix. But I do not know when it's going to go live because, as JR said, we're going to have to edit that one. Probably for the language.
I'm just fixing
I
to
was
say,
just
going to
gonna
be a
ask
lot
about
of
the
bleeps in
language.
that.
Yeah. I do have a half-hour long presentation over on North Texas Troublemakers YouTube about the military is not monolithic. And I go into some of the things that you can use to do that. So that's another option for you. Anyway, back to our regularly scheduled programming. I don't know.
Whatever you want to call this.
Yeah. Peter Grant, his Maxwell stories and spinoffs are all good. Yes, they are.
He does good work.
Mhm.
Yeah, Richard. Ships will be undermanned, 70% serviceability, 150% mission creep. That's pretty much the norm anymore.
Well, that's military for you.
Yeah, DA, I will definitely post that on the blog when it goes live. And Joel says, and $1 for the officer you fragged. No comment.
Nothing.
Mm,
Differ. There are things that happen. Some unexpected, some expected,
Mhm.
and some just no freaking idea what happened. I lost over 50 shipmates that I knew in various training accidents and other things over the years. So, yeah, it happens.
Forgot.
We're going to lube that damn thing. We're going to continue to play with it.
I will.
Chinese basket weaves on the end.
I will chew through the straps or the Chinese finger cuffs. I will chew through them. That people have tried that before. I literally chewed through one.
Yeah, that's about the only way to get the damn things off.
Okay, so moving on to more cheerful things because this took a dark turn.
Yeah, sorry.
That's all right.
it's Memorial Day. There's times to
Yeah.
reflect.
Monday's
on-
Memorial Day.
Well, yes, but the topic started out as Memorial
Yeah.
Day.
Yeah, there's stuff I don't want to think about right now.
Mhm.
So, moving on to other things.
Writing.
Close things.
I made a comment Tuesday about the post that I had put up for snippets. And that one has been interesting.
Yeah, think.
Yeah, because of the back and forth with my readers
Mhm.
and the various suggestions, which has caused me to do three rewrites so far on that one chapter to try to get it right.
Oh dear.
Well, that's why I love it, because readers have a different set of expertise
Yes. And expectations.
and expectations.
Quiet. Leave me alone.
Okay.
I'm stressed out. Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
Just
Keep
trying
talking.
to figure out what the hell you're playing with.
It's a little rubber thingy with little things you pop.
Okay,
We
the
need a Hawaiian shirt version of that.
It's like bubble wrap, but like, yeah.
Silent bubble wrap.
silent bubble wrap.
Because y'all get grouchy about squeaking noises on the.
So he's sitting over here going pop, 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 pop.
I can't hear
But it will take up much
that.
white, is what it is.
Yeah.
and I go,
Yeah, the silent bubble wrap. That's about what it is. The other thing
Ish.
is the back and forth with the readers gives me a lot better input, and it allows me to write a more realistic book, which is what my goal is.
I'm not. Jim's big on realism. I'm squishy on realism. Realism that gets in the way of a good story. I'm not.
Well, it's my reputation
Well,
for writing hard science fiction
right.
where
I-
stuff is correct.
And
So,
I don't write hard science fiction.
Yeah.
I write space. I write space opera and fantasy opera. I did a story a couple of decades ago, and it was basically the Civil War, but Nazi elves arrived and helped the South win it. And the story was set after the Civil War had ended with a Southern victory, and the whole premise was that there was this group that was trying to get the American states reunited,
Mhm.
and there's this shadowy cabal that was preventing them from doing so, and you had this cavalry captain was caught in the middle of it. It was basically the Robert Ludlum novel with Nazi elves in Victorian America, and I was rabid about getting the pistols right.
Yeah.
But and I was done with the manuscript. I'm looking at it, and I have, and this is before the internet, and I had researched the guns to the point that my I had brain cells bleeding over the research, and I looked at it and said, "You've got Nazi elves."
Yeah.
And you're worried about whether the character would be carrying an Adams revolver or not.
Yeah.
That's why I decided.
People get hung up on it.
Yeah, but I got hung up on it. I realized I've got Nazi elves in the 1880s, for God's sake. Why do I care?
Make it a new name.
What?
Make a new name.
Yeah.
A new brand. Someone else came up with it first.
What's that?
Whatever gun you want to use, because you're in a
Oh.
fantasy world with elves.
Yeah, with Nazi elves.
Yeah.
Imagine. And I couldn't decide whether I agonized for weeks over whether my character would carry an Adams revolver or a Merwin Hulbert. That's the level. That's when I realized that okay, the realism maybe not so important.
Yeah. Everybody's perspective is different. Yes, Larry and I have talked about accuracy on weapons.
And he wound up, because it was based in Galveston, he wound up with a Merwin Hulbert.
Yeah.
For those of you that were going to ask.
Yeah, Sir Brass, that the one that you missed is the back and forth about the Navy ship that makes the Soviets look good.
Oh, the
That's
Arleigh Burke class
Arleigh
destroyer
Burke,
that's
yes.
more rust than metal.
Yes,
Oh,
that is.
that's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
That
That's a
and
good example of the current state of the Navy because they don't have the money to do stuff. They don't have the manpower. And I'm saying we, my age group, that ship would have never been allowed to pull into port looking like that.
well, it's
And that's the fucking flagship.
flagship. One, I can't believe they're using destroyer as a flagship on the Mediterranean.
That's all they've got.
I can't believe they use destroyer as a flagship. I really can't.
They
And
don't
so-
have a cruiser.
I can't. Back in the day, I'm fixing to haul out the back in the day flag. Back in the day, there had been a carrier, would have been the flagship of.
Yes, we don't have a carrier over there because they're all otherwise occupied.
And then the damn thing is more rust than it is metal.
Yep, and that's a new
I
destroyer.
thought that was paint. I honestly thought it was paint. It's not. It's rust.
Yeah. Water is corrosive. Salt water is especially corrosive.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go, Raptor. Know how to address your shipmates and superior officers by the proper pronoun. And it's only going to get worse with the new chairman of the Joint Chiefs.
If my Bradley had looked like that,
Yeah.
I'd still be breaking and replacing track.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, if I turned in something like that to the motor pool, CSM would have my butt hoisted on the nearest flagpole.
Yeah, Richard. Flagship for the change of command after Pearl Harbor was a fleet sub. That's right. Because that was all that was left in port. Yeah, Rafters. I hate to say this, but today I would not recommend the military to
Nope.
people.
Nope.
Sir Bress, go look up the new chairman of the Joint Chiefs. He is an Air Force 4-star who led the Air Force's push into DEI.
Oh, for God's sake.
Yes. Yes.
Fighter job could be better.
Yeah, RK, we may be there next week. Yes, he's a fighter jock, F-16 type.
And we lost Cedar again.
And Cedar's, I think Cedar's bored with this conversation, to be honest.
No, Cedar has to touch base with someone and see if there's something looks
Oh,
like what it's
God,
supposed
they're
to look
plotting.
like.
Oh, God, they're plotting.
I love that.
And what's worse is they like it. That's not
Yeah.
That's not a good sign. Not a good sign.
Well, the problem with fighter jocks is their egos.
That's why they should be.
Yeah.
Just to,
Yeah, I'm going to shut up before I get myself in trouble here.
I'm working on
That's
a
a
secret
first.
project, so I can't show aught to the public.
What
The
is
hell?
that?
Well, it's an anti-aircraft gun,
I see that.
and the
I
rest
like
of it I'll
this.
tell you after the stream.
I see what's launching, and
Yeah.
I approve.
Okay.
Okay, where was I?
Sorry.
It was close to.
Yeah, ego's bigger than their jock straps.
Ooh.
That's where I was
I
going.
like that one, Jim.
Oh, that was Richard's.
Yes, that's why fighter jocks should be warrant officers.
Yep.
It's why the United States Air Force ought to be the Army's version of the Marine Corps.
The interesting thing, and I'll tell one story and then I'll quit. The Air Force and the Navy's difference in what their officers are required to do. In the Navy, as an officer, even a very junior officer, you are managing people. You're a division officer, and you may have 25 to 50 people underneath you as an incident. In the Air Force, you don't manage people until you make major, if then, because your sole job is to fly. So you don't have any understanding of how to manage people. Your sole job is to get the airplane, go fly. Navy, you've got to do that and your ground job, or jobs, plural. We were going through flight training out at Mather, and we had an issue with a Air Force major. Well, actually, two issues. One, because he was a former F4 Rio, and he was teaching radar navigation. So first day of class, he throws up a couple of pictures on the pictures of radar plots up on the screen. He says, anybody that can recognize these can have the rest of the day off. Well, one of them was the roller coaster at Santa Cruz. The other one was the Ice Edge up off of Barrow, Alaska. Anybody that saw that was either VP or the Coast Guard immediately knew what the hell they were. And there were three of us in the class, actually four of us in the class, that went, "Ooh, we know what the," so we all wrote it down, turned it in. And he goes, "Well, you guys can't possibly know that, so somebody had to have given you the answer." Really, dude? Two former AWs a former air intelligence officer, and an ex-Coast Guard air crewman who flew out of Kodiak. Maybe we knew what the hell we were looking at. So about 3 weeks later, we go into a radar check ride in a trainer. Well, our trainer broke. It was not coming up correctly. And this major had wandered off somewhere. And the tech came in, and myself and the warrant who was in there with me both looked at him and said, "Hey, this thing's down." He goes, "Oh, yeah, it is. Okay. Well, we'll move you over to this other console set." So we move over there. Well, one of the Navy instructors comes in, goes, "What are you guys doing over here?" "Oh, the other one was hard down." He said, "Okay, I'll sit here and monitor you. I don't have anything to do." So he monitors us through the whole check ride. This major never comes back.
No big loss.
We go into the debrief, and the major goes, "You four failed." We're going, "What?" He goes, "You four failed. You got up and left the training area. You were unsupervised. So therefore, I'm failing all of you." It's like, "Excuse me, the trainer you put us in was down. We were moved by one of your technicians and a Navy lieutenant." He said, "I don't give a shit. You moved. I didn't know where you were. You failed. And all four of you will report tomorrow morning to the Air Force colonel who's in charge so I can get you shit canned."
Oh, okay.
So we trot our happy butts back over to the Navy side and go in and talk to the 06 Navy captain. Oh, and the other thing was he wanted us to report in dress whites.
Mm.
So we report to the Navy captain,
All spiffy.
grab the instructor as we go by, and say, "Hey, Captain, we got a problem." He listens to us, looks at the instructor, goes, "Is that what happened, Schulte?" He says, "Yes, sir. I monitored them the whole time. They did fine. They passed." He looked at us and goes, "All right, gentlemen. One, you don't report to anybody in the Air Force. I'm your senior officer." Yeah, I might have actually known the 06, Rick. He said, "You will report in khakis in the morning here at 0800. So we show up at 8 o'clock the next morning in the Navy side, and he looks at us, goes, "Go get a cup of coffee, and then we'll wander over to the Air Force side." So
Boundaries are being established.
yeah, we have a full Navy lieutenant, and we have a W4, and two of us ensigns go strolling over the next morning about 8:15, 8:20.
Kind of worried about the W4 personally.
Oh, Jimmy was a piece of work. So we wander over about 8:20, 8:30 the next morning, and this major is frothing at the mouth. "If you're not in the appropriate uniform," does not realize that there's a full captain, Navy captain with us.
There's an 06 and he's an 05.
He's an 04.
04, excuse me.
And the captain looked at us, looked at him, and went, "Y'all go back over to our place." And he walks to the colonel's office. Well, we didn't get to hear that. But about 10 o'clock,
No,
he came back
Feel
over.
the vibrations in the ether.
About 10 o'clock, he came back over to our side and said, "Gentlemen, you will no longer be taught by the Air Force. All of your training will be conducted by naval officers." And we went, "Yes." Every time we saw that major, for the rest of the time we were there, all we got was like, I got a feeling he got his butt chewed and probably was no longer an instructor. Yeah, right after that.
He's lucky when somewhere freezing butt off and going 1 dog turd, 2 dog turds,
Yeah.
3 dog turds.
Sent that asshole to Alaska to the dew line. Anyway, significant difference in the way the Air Force officers and Navy officers do things. And Differ, you should have written that son of a bitch up, and had his ass prosecuted. You were a junior enlisted. There's no way in hell a captain should have been hitting on you. Sir Brass, I'm pretty damn sure that colonel got a chunk of that 04's ass. Yeah, an ensign may be the OD on a carrier. He's scared shitless if he's the OD, but he's the OD.
Please don't have anything go wrong. Please don't have anything go wrong. Please don't have anything go
Exactly.
wrong. I remember when they pinned my first rocker on me as an E6. And in the Army, E6 used to be platoon sergeant. Staff sergeant was also platoon sergeant. So you were the old man of platoon, and you usually got issued a one butter bar, polished, one each. And the first one I got he was a box of rocks. Oh my God, he was a box of rocks. Dumber than a bag of hair. And I had him for 6 months, and I finally went to CSM and said, "Hey CSM, I can't. I've done my best. I realize I'm brand new, and this is my first ever issued lieutenant, and it looks bad that I cannot beat this man into a decent officer. He is not a decent officer." And CSM looked at me and said, "It took you fucking long enough." Oh, okay.
Yeah, Greg. Second lieutenant's ensign's gold bar to keep distinguish them from officers. The fun part is when you're a Mustang and go back into the same squadron, and the skipper looks at you and goes, "Well, shit, I can't make you the bull. I can't give you any shiggle jobs. Shit, I got to give you a real job." Yeah, Raptor. Red Storm Rising. Yeah, they're and that's something else. Line officers and non-line officers. Army, I don't think does this. Neither do the Marines.
Okay.
Any officer in the Army and Marine Corps command, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. In the Navy, that's not the way it is.
Okay.
You have line officers, then you have restricted line. A line officer can command. Unrestricted line cannot.
Oh.
So supply, nurse corps, medical, intel, those folks cannot command a ship or an aircraft
You've got Army,
unless it's an emergency.
unless things have changed. Army officers cycle through everything.
Yeah.
I was never an officer, so what my impression was that we would see an officer for a year or two.
Yeah.
And they'd move on to the next, and you'd cycle through. I had one of my better officers came from a chemical company. He'd been a XO at a chemical company, NBC company. And when he got his 03, he came over to cavalry.
Yeah.
And then he was one of the best officers because he could listen. He left the sergeants alone and let us do our jobs.
Padre says chaplains don't get command.
Well, I would think chaplains not taking command actually makes sense because of what they are.
Right.
Well,
Not that they can't, but their role isn't
They're non-combatants,
right.
and you can't be in command of a combat unit as a non-combatant.
oh, Dan corrected me. The Air Force has line and non-line officers as well. Non-line were specialists like geophysicists or chemists. Okay. That's interesting. Padre says that's why he's no IC and not a commander. Okay, that makes sense. Raptor. Raptor is
attitude check.
yeah.
I'm trying to remember what the old that hoary old chest that we used to do about attitude check, positive attitude check, ranger attitude check.
Yeah.
There used to be this thing that we did, this hoary old ritual we had. I remember I hate this place. And Ranger check, I fucking hate this place.
Yeah. Yeah, Rick, sometimes the suppo would qualify as the OD, but that's a bit of a different kettle of fish with a submarine. Although there was one suppo that got a command at sea on USS Arkansas, the nuclear cruiser, because he was the only officer on board when it went to sea. Out of Gitmo, they were having a dining in down at Gitmo. Why, I don't know, but they were. So all the officers were off the ship except the suppo supply officer, because he was the junior guy. And they got an emergency call on an A4, and the pilot was punching out south of Cuba. So the chiefs got the boat underway, left the rest of the officers running down the pier.
Darn.
Yeah. And they had E7s that were qualified to stand watch, bridge watch, OOD watch. So they literally took the ship out, rescued the guy, and brought the ship back. And the suppo was, quote unquote, technically in command of the ship for about 6 hours.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Chiefs can qualify as engineering officer of the watch. That's always been true of the surface Navy and submarines.
I'm a grunt. A whole bunch of stuff you're talking about. I don't care.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
know.
know. Don't care.
Yeah. Well, Rick, sometimes leaving 2/3 of the wardroom is not a bad thing.
There have been times I would have been happy to leave 2/3 of my command staff somewhere.
A Raptor, a friend of mine, was an E6 nuke on the boat, and he said the suppo was basically sitting in the back of the bridge going, "You guys just run it. You know what you're doing. I don't."
I'm from whoever knows the most about the situation is
Yeah.
the one in charge.
Yeah.
Okay.
JOD at a NATO naval base. Yeah, that's possible. Shades of December the 7th. Yes. Oh, AJ, that's E2 who passed all the orals to get qualified as the engineering officer of the watch. Yeah, former E5, but that's cheating. Hey, hot Icelandic chicks are a little strange. Trust me. Been there.
Considering that we are outnumbered by the distaff side of the species in this current area, I'm not saying a damn thing.
I was going to make a comment about Iceland being a small island with not a lot of opportunity for genetic interchange in the last little while since the Vikings.
Yeah. They're also the only women I've ever known that would go out and lay out in a bikini at 40 degrees.
You can add 1 to that number. 2. I was raised in Alaska. 40 degrees after a long winter with cold snaps down to 70 below is balmy.
Yeah.
It is above freezing.
Yes.
Still not saying a thing.
We're freezing our asses off, and these girls are laying out in bikinis outside the barracks. We're going, hell.
Not going there in any way, shape, form, or fashion.
Let me just say that I have made snow angels.
I can believe that. In a bikini, right?
It wasn't a bikini, but yes.
I have a noiseless bubble maker.
Yeah.
Sit here, noiseless, and that's as fun. What the hell are you two giggling about?
Yes, RK, I'm well aware of that now. First time I was that far north was in 1976.
No, that's the year I was born.
Hush.
Parents were still in high school.
I was 9.
You shut up too.
Oh, it was the funniest thing when I was talking about how old my dishwasher is, and the spectrum of responses was somewhere between "get off my lawn" and "I'm younger than your dishwasher."
Get off
Yes.
my lawn.
Ian's face is red again.
Not go in there.
Uh,
Look, I have a noiseless bubble popper.
yeah, Marines adopted and made an officer out of the Air Force weatherman. That happens.
The one that always amused me is Tok, Alaska, which is 700 miles inland, had 2 Coast Guard guys. I don't remember if they were officers now because I was little. Because it was a Loran station.
Yeah.
So
So there was one officer and one enlisted,
probably.
and they ran the Loran station, and they were probably there 90 days at a shot.
No, they were there a lot because one of their sons was my age and in school there in Tok.
Huh.
So
That must have been considered good duty, because Cold Bay, 6 weeks, they had to roll people out.
well, Tok was,
Yeah.
civilization for value stuff. We did have a grocery store. We didn't have a doctor. We didn't have a bank.
Yeah.
We had a North Star, which was the truck / cafe /
Yeah.
laundromat.
Yeah. Yeah, Red Storm Rising was a good book.
There's a Coast Guard detachment in the Texas Panhandle.
Loran Station.
I guess.
No.
No.
Red River.
Ah.
Just nothing like screaming for help on the radio and having a Coast Guard unit show up. Texas
Yeah,
Panhandle.
that would freak me out. The Texas Panhandle, if I didn't know.
A light gray or a blue Reliant K car pulled up and 2 Coast Guard coasties got out. It's like,
Yeah.
the hell? All right. They had AR-15s. I was happy.
Yeah,
That's a fun thing to put in a story, is to have a distress call answered by the most unlikely.
Coast Guard in the Texas Panhandle.
Yeah.
Last I checked, we were 1,200 miles from the coast, but that's okay.
yeah, they're law enforcement.
They had guns.
Yeah.
I was a happy man.
Why do you think the Coast Guard rides Navy ships and Army ships down in the Caribbean?
Why do you think there's a Coast Guard detachment, or was, until the FICUS got? There was a Coast Guard detachment at Bagram Air Force Base in Afghanistan. Doesn't
Law
have
enforcement,
a coast at all, but they've got a Coast Guard.
because they were interacting with Fifth Fleet, which does have Coast Guard ships over there.
I do love the Coasties. I give the Coasties hell. I gave the Coasties hell back when I was wearing a solid suit.
Yeah.
But I friggin' love the Coast Guard. They're really great people. And back when I was in, Coast Guard was DOT.
Yeah.
It wasn't. We didn't have Homeland Security.
Yeah.
It was Department of Transportation, and they were just happy to be noticed. It's like, oh, Coast Guard's here. Want some coffee, guys? Oh my God, you can see us.
Oh.
Yeah, but
Speaking
ask.
of Coast Guard, have you heard anything about Guam? I saw your post.
Yes.
Is it tipping over? According to the Democrats, is it tipping over?
No, was hit by maximum 140 mile an hour winds.
Oof.
Oh,
As of a couple of hours ago when I checked, no deaths, no injuries.
Excellent.
So everybody managed to get in the shelters. I'm going to guarantee that all the wood and tin houses built up on the North Shore gone.
Polished off.
Oh, yeah.
Kelly. Kelly says Naked Snow Angels is the name of my Green Day cover band. No, it's not Kelly. Naked, not naked, naked. And in the South, for those of you who aren't in the South, naked and naked are 2 different things.
Yes.
Kelly, honey.
Uh-oh.
Kelly, I know what I can put for your next author photo.
Oh, that's a threat, Kelly, in case you didn't notice that. RK, that is not only the Coastie motto, that is anybody that does rescue.
In the back of my head is the Star Trek Red Alert
Yeah,
and Kirk's voice. Brace for impact, Kelly.
yeah. Coastie motto, you have to go out, you don't have to come back.
That's not
That's anybody that does air sea rescue
that's,
or shipboard rescue. Naked means you're up to something. Yes.
Right.
naked is no clothes. Naked is no clothes and intentions.
Yeah. Good, bad, or otherwise. Yeah, Clancy did give good press to the Coast Guard mainly because they were one of his neighbors.
And they did it.
Neighbor on the other side was a guy named Jerry Carroll, who was a ex-Navy helicopter pilot.
Like I said, the Coast Guard, they catch crap from everybody and completely undeserved.
Oh, it's deserved, and they give it back very well.
They do seem to be a service with a sense of humor.
Yes.
First, Aberdeen Proving Grounds is a joint, or was in the 80s, a joint service base, and there was a Coast Guard coasties in our. That's where I went through small arms specialist school, and we had a couple coasties there, and we had a Navy guy, and oh my God, the back and forth. That's the first time I heard somebody yell, "The Coast Guard, make sure the Navy has pretty babies since 1792."
Yes.
It's like, ouch, incoming.
Nuclear alcohol front and center. It's cheating if it's not in the photo from Fool's Con. Mike McKaylee.
What? Oh, the reactor scrapings.
Yeah.
That's people have been threatening me with the reactor scrapings. Don't bother. I am not. I tried.
Oh,
I've got two witnesses here. I tried to drink that stuff. I cannot drink reactor scrapings. Please don't bring it. It'll go to waste.
I drank some of that, and it was one of the worst things that I've ever had in my mouth.
Yeah, but Mike wants it to be in the Kelly's author picture.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, that could be arranged.
My vote is for Kelly's author photo to be one that puts the nuclear alcohol front and center.
I know exactly which picture he's talking about. Bottle.
I don't know. Kelly may pop this up sometime, but Kelly actually does have an author photo. It's for his autobiography, Naked Came I. And it's him in a toga on a dais.
Which is a scary thought.
It's whoa. It's whoa. Sorry, reactor scrapings. There is this vodka that one of my fans brought to
Was that vodka? Are you sure that was vodka? Because I don't know that it was
That
vodka.
was not vodka.
It was
Allegedly.
angry apple mixed with crushed beetle juice.
Yeah.
It's vodka based.
yeah.
That's a loose term, awfully loose.
Oh,
It's like saying something's ethanol based. I mean,
yeah. Woo.
Just saying,
Oh.
it's vodka based.
It was supposed to be apple and pear flavored vodka, and it was
There
radioactive
hadn't been
green.
an apple anywhere near that thing. The apples were angry that their name had been included on the bottle.
And I said, "Yeah, kinky green." It's the name of the liquor line is
It
kinky.
fluoresced, folks.
Yeah. It literally looked like a green Kim light after you snap it. And oh my God, it was nasty. Oh my God, it was nasty. I tried. I tried to drink it. Should I?
Well, it's in the North Texas Troublemakers group in the comment thread. So
Kelly-
Kelly's aware of it.
Kelly is on here, right?
Kelly is very
So,
aware of this.
We Cedar just did a prompt for
Oh, this was earlier today.
Kelly Grayson, International Medic of Mystery, and this is what Midjourney gave her.
That's why Kelly knows that there was a thread about the author.
Yes, Sir Brass. It actually fluoresced.
It was disgusting.
They put a flashlight underneath it. It was beautiful.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, there's
And
photos of the flashlight
and
underneath of it.
the guy that gave it to me really wanted me to drink it, and I tried.
You made
I did my best, but I got a couple of sips, and the third one said it's going to come back. It's going to rebound like a catapult. That's like I couldn't.
Kelly says even a guy misgenders me.
Yeah, the AI didn't quite get.
The
Kelly could be
AI
either
missed that
male or
one.
female.
Well, if you'd have spelled it Y instead of I, that might have helped.
No, she's been
No,
alive.
spell it right.
I know.
I could probably go in there and tweak it, but what I'll probably do is just upload a photo of him because I've got some and see what it does.
Yeah, Winkle Red.
And there's your threat.
And Kelly cannot defend himself because he's not here.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord.
And Courtney's sitting over there with that little shit-eating grin on her face. Yes, you.
It
Yes.
is not.
Sarah Hoyt, the Mormon man with a fantastic rack. I just
Yeah, no,
Oh,
that prompt's going in there at some point. Because this is what I'm doing for LibertyCon is I'm throwing author names at it.
Yeah.
I don't actually want to get images that are too close to be copyright.
Yeah.
So, which includes, I don't want something that looks exactly like, just as a random example that I totally didn't generate earlier, Timothy Zahn.
Yeah.
or Kratos.
Well, and that's the
Yeah.
thing is I can't use like celebrity stuff,
Yeah.
either people or intellectual properties.
Because Timothy Zahn's Thrawn is owned by Rat World, aka House of Mouse,
Yeah.
aka Disney.
Okay, and that's a no. That's
Yeah.
just a hard no. So what I'm going to do instead is just feed in names, and Midjourney's going to give me random stuff, but it'll be a really fun prompt set for LibertyCon.
Yes, folks, I have gotten schnockered on cavalry grog, which I'm here to tell you, I don't care what your worst alcohol is, cavalry grog is worse. I have gotten commode hugging, snot slinking drunk on cavalry grog, and I couldn't handle that tiki green.
Remember Purple Jesus?
Oh, Jesus.
That would be why it's called that.
Yeah. Oh, in our younger days.
I lost a lot of brain cells to some really wicked booze.
Yeah. Some of the combinations, garbage can stuff. Yeah.
If you were in a cavalry unit that served during Korea, your grog probably has soju in it.
No, Mike, not Uzo. No, God, no. We had a guy get drunk on Uzo in Greece and get locked up by the Greek police. And he showed back up at the hotel, and his mouth was all cut up, and most of his teeth were broken.
Oh.
Somebody got stupid during arrest.
No, he chewed through a chain link fence because he was still in the handcuffs.
Oh.
They had handcuffed him to a chain link fence.
I'm trying to remember what the recipe for a cavalry. The thing about cavalry grog is every recipe is unique to your unit,
Sambuca, yes, that's worse.
and it's tied into your unit history. I know ours had a drop of motor oil and sand.
I suppose if you're diluted out far enough.
There was enough booze in there; it was diluted all to hell and gone.
Yeah.
Okay. And the sand will just sink.
But
It's cigarette butter and Everclear.
cavalry grog. There's always a ceremony to making cavalry grog.
Yeah.
And you recite the unit history as you put in the different ingredients that make up that trash can of woe and despair. I can't remember what the hell was in ours.
Serving Banshee. That's why you don't drink cotton picking soju.
Yeah.
Had a hangover without getting drunk first for 3 days. Yeah. Yeah, there's some nasty stuff out there.
I don't remember what was ours. It was. I know it was hard to drink.
Well, and somebody mentioned that on Tuesday, that it's one item for each.
There's an item in it for every incident in the unit's past history.
Yeah, what do y'all call streamers?
Well, there's always one for the streamers. There's also if there are any notable incidents, something to do, something that brings the incident to mind goes in the grog.
Campaign ribbons. Thank you.
Yeah, campaign.
The Navy doesn't have campaign ribbons,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, if you at least had one for a campaign ribbon, and you also usually had one for every notable incident in the past history.
so 7th Cavalry's got one for Custer.
I was never in 7th Cav.
Mekong whiskey. God no.
Well, if your unit was if your cavalry was in Vietnam, there would be Mekong whiskey in there.
Now that's the name of the whiskey, and
Oh.
it was God. It
And
was
then-
rice whiskey.
that would be in grog if yeah. And then there was what we served the ladies, which was we stuffed a whole bunch of really cheap vodka in a deep freeze for a week before. And then you would pour them a glass of Hawaiian punch with a shot of below zero vodka, give it a quick stir, and you get a slushy.
Yeah, but it would never actually freeze.
Oh, the stuff we used did.
That was
If
some
it
really
froze, then
shitty
it doesn't
vodka.
have
then.
enough alcohol in it.
No, the alcohol would be liquid. The vodka would be in the deep freeze.
Right.
Right, so there was no water left. You froze the water.
Right,
And then
right.
we
Yeah.
used super frozen vodka, which was still liquid,
Yeah.
went into the
Oh,
Hawaiian
okay.
punch and made it in sort of a slushy.
You made Applejack instead of with vodka.
So the legend that I was told when I was a kid living in Alaska was that the gold miners and people that were there up during the gold rush would carry their alcohol inside their coat or inside their clothing, because if they left it outside and then took a slug, it was actually so cold that it could stop their heart.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's true, but it certainly seems plausible.
Having taken a shot of vodka that had been refrigerated in the ice in the freezer, yeah, it definitely gets your attention.
Yes, and if you pour into a thing of Hawaiian punch,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say what the cavalry referred to it as because there are ladies present.
Yeah.
Um,
Now, Carlton, the question was notable happenings that are represented in the
cavalry grog.
cavalry grog.
And he was asking what 7th Cavalry would use for Battle of Little Bighorn. I
Yeah.
don't know. I was never in 7th Cavalry. Don't care. I'm pretty sure I can look it up. I have access to some total human knowledge. Hang on a sec. Let's look up 7th Cavalry Cavalry Grog.
Yeah.
This should be educational for some people.
Akavit's another one I don't like. It's licorice. I don't do licorice well.
I like licorice. If I could spell, I'd be a happy camper.
Yeah, it's definitely cold, Suburban Banshee. Trust me. But it never gets, never solidifies because of the alcohol content. Yeah, we've got a bottle of Everclear in here that's sitting on the bar that's never been
It's
cracked.
the only bottle we've got that's never been opened. Let's see here.
Battle of Greasy Grass. Yeah,
Infantry has grog? What the hell? Let's see here.
I was not aware of that, Suburban Banshee. Problem is, some Scandinavian licorice is salty licorice, which is stronger than black licorice. Yeah, didn't know that. Of course, I tend to stay away from that stuff anyway. I don't think we're going to find an answer.
No, I don't think so.
Well, anyway,
Okay,
folks.
here is a recipe. This is a tame recipe. Okay, 2nd Stryker Cavalry Regiment. Let's see here. 1/2 bottle of champagne red wine over dry ice. Let's see. Rye whiskey over the dry ice. 14 shots tequila. Kahlua for a headlong charge of the blazing Mexican artillery at Resaca de la Palma. Southern Comfort for battles in Civil War. More champagne red wine for Little Bighorn. Add French wine, Bordeaux for Normandy. Napoleon brandy for rescuing the Lipizzaner show horses. The close World War II vodka. Evian water. 2 Sharps non-alcoholic beers. An entire bottle of Slivovitz.
Oh,
And then the hardest job of all, drink it.
yeah. And on that note, folks, we wasted another hour of your time.
And that was just 7th Cavalry Striker.
Yeah.
Actually, ours had sand in it.
Sorry we kind of took a downturn today, but it's that time of year. Yeah, hit like if you enjoyed it. We do appreciate y'all spending time with us. And have a good weekend. Enjoy your 3-day weekend.
I don't get a 3-day weekend.
Huh?
I don't get a 3-day weekend.
Neither do I.
Yeah, but you get paid double
Yeah,
time.
I get double time for Monday.
I don't. I just get to work.
Y'all be safe.
And remember, don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't pet the sweaty stuff.
Book release update. We're releasing Fools went out today.
Yes.
Falcons of Malta is next Friday. And the one after that will be the first of 2 pinup noir anthologies.
And as I said, if you get a 3-day weekend, enjoy it. Talk to y'all later.
Be safe.
safe.
Oh.